There's something about RuneScape to me that I just can't walk away. I'll take breaks for years at a time, but every now and then I get the RuneScape craving. I want to sit around and do nothing but click on rocks and see numbers go up on my screen for hours. But I'm also obsessed with virtual reality. When I played Skyrim in VR for the first time, something clicked in my cold and empty brain cavity. Like, High Hrothgar isn't just an annoying thing to climb in game, it's something you have to wrench your fleshy neck back to see the top of when you're standing at the bottom. The scale in VR just makes you stand there dumbfounded sometimes. I love the word dumbfounded. It's kind of like I found my dumb. Or dumb found me. Who did dumb find you? Moving on. The idea of being actually within the world of RuneScape would be an overdose of nostalgia for me. So let's do a deep dive together so I can get all this off my chest and get on with my life and stop thinking about this all the frickin' time. Today we're going to answer the question, can RuneScape work in VR? First up are the mods. Modders are basically new age demigods that sometimes grace us with a gift that we do not deserve, but we happily accept anyway. And because there are people like me that need a shot of reminiscent childhood memories straight to the eyeballs, there are actually some pretty insane RuneScape mods already out there. I'm sure a few of you have already seen a lot of them over the last couple years, and it's usually just Blade and Sorcery. I strangely couldn't get the Blade and Sorcery mods working properly. I don't know why.
Oh, something is quite wrong.
Every enemy would just collapse in on themselves like a dying star and create some kind of horrifying amalgamation of swords, flesh, and low poly armor. Blade and Sorcery is updated pretty often, which is great, and it's gonna get its full release this year, but I've honestly given up on trying to mod anything in this game. Every update breaks every single mod. It's not worth looking into anymore. It's like, oh, this one works on U12, but this one works on U11.2, and this one works on 11. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Alright, let's get it started.
Oh, he's just afraid. Now this feels mean. Boop. Why was there blood? Was that just someone dressed up as a droid?
Fucking nuts, man. Fuck.
He's just running. Go back.
But the actually redonkulous thing is that CMVR, the team doing all these RuneScape mods, their mission is to recreate almost everything in RuneScape completely by hand. And they're not just trying to make RuneScape maps for Blade and Sorcery, but they're actually overhauling the entire game. According to their Discord, they've already got fishing, woodcutting, fletching, cooking, firemaking, and mining all working in game. I don't know how. Probably signed a deal with the devil or got 99 magic or something. So I'm gonna keep my eyes open for that, but that does bring one thought to mind that a lot of people have criticized in the past with the idea of RuneScape in VR. Clicking on a rock in RuneScape normally is super laid back, but having to get 99 mining by hand would never, ever be worth it in an actual official RuneScape game. Forget the idea of doing all that stuff. What we're trying to capture here is the magic of that world, not the tediousness of needing to fish for 8 hours with motion controls. Luckily for me, I was able to get a little nostalgia hit from the modders working on Battle Talent. It's another game kind of like Blade and Sorcery, but actually a full game, even though it's a little bit janky here and there. There's this one Bob NPC that was remade by hand, so it's a little off, but it still tickles a few neurons in my noggin, I guess. There's no rapier in RuneScape, but you know, whatever. And the same goes with his remake of the cabin in Lumbridge Swamp, and they kind of bordered it all off. But the real IV drip of nostalgia straight to my veins is this Rune Scimitar mod.
It's a little messy right now, but there's something about it. Seeing this shape in my hand. I wish for level 99. All the bots had to go somewhere right after that bot purge. I'm just a cleanup crew. He's off to Lumbridge now.
And the last one I want to show off is this VR chat world I'm in right now. There was a team that wanted to once again recreate a fully functional version of RuneScape that you could play within VR chat, but the task became a little too daunting, so they instead shifted focus on making the entire overworld just a fun place to explore in peace, like I'm doing right now.
Hopefully I don't kick my cat in the face. There's just something about being in this world. It's kind of crazy. You guys are seeing it from that perspective, but if I switch you over to my perspective, let me just switch you over. No, that's not it. Camera mode? No. Photo? No. Stream? No. Oh, I know. That is what I want. Yeah, I'm freaking in RuneScape, dude. Seeing things to scale, this statue, Lumbridge Castle. Sure, things are kind of glitching out a little bit, but that's fine.
To sum it up, the world of RuneScape in VR is just a crazy, satisfying shot of memories, but the idea of playing one-to-one RuneScape in virtual reality would just be way too tiring. It would be an impossibly huge task that would need to be rebuilt from the ground up anyway, so it might as well just be Blade and Sorcery with a RuneScape skin. So with that in mind, what if we just look at some games that remind you of RuneScape, or at least remind me of RuneScape? This is my video, I can do whatever I want. Here's a picture of me when I broke my arm as a kid, but I was doing karate and I thought I looked really cool. Now, walking around these VR worlds can get a little bit tiring after a while, so it's important to take some breaks. But where am I gonna put my VR headset down?
Well, fear not.
Who are you?
Because with today's sponsor, KIWI Design, their RGB vertical charging stand is the perfect decoration for your virtual device.
Okay, dude, I'm supposed to be the one reading this.
With their SPC charging strap, you can even charge both the head strap and the headset at the same time.
Okay, just tell them the coupon code.
Use code Larry at the link below to get 5% off.
Who the hell was that? It might be a bit of a stretch, but the game that actually sparked the idea for this video as a whole goal was Legendary Tales. This game has been out in early access for a long time, and a lot of people forgot about it, but they were kind enough to send over a key to test out the full release on a stream a while back. Ooh, a bow.
Can I put this on my shoulder? How do you store in the dang flabby? Oh, it's on my back. Reach through my crotch there. There we go. All the great archers. I love that point in Lord of the Rings where Legolas reaches between his crotch to grab his bow. Don't mind me just reaching through my crotch to store it. All I'm doing there is I'm just clenching and I'm just walking along. just holding this on the butt cheek. They'll never suspect a thing.
It's a little rough around the edges, but I am really enjoying it, and it really gives me the vibe of like a 1990s dark fantasy CD-ROM dungeon crawler. But the thing that really stuck in my head while I was playing this was RuneScape.
I'm having an otherworldly VR experience right now. Seeing this huge of an environment with the sun blaring in, and then these zombies, it just feels like I'm in RuneScape right now, man.
It just feels like I'm doing a Slayer task. There's this mechanic where, just like in RuneScape, if you die, you drop all your gear and you can go collect it, which I love. There's cooking in the game as well, which is great. Before they started to make RuneScape overly approachable and easy to understand, there was this mystery to how you got anything done. Legendary Tales really doesn't explain much to you. It doesn't just hold your hand, it lets you figure things out on your own.
You know what, let's figure out how does this work. Polearm. Do I like reach into ye old inventory? Equip. Iron. Is this good? Is this... Or is it saying there's no ingredients in there currently? I did it. Ingredient 5. Ooh, okay. Pull the lever, crunk. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, let's go. Smithing 99. I know what the next step is here. Here we go. There we go. This is pretty cool. This is pretty elaborate. Now, wood. The old pencil sharpener. Come here. I did it. Look at us go. We just made a whole thing.
It's less user-friendly, but I actually kind of like that. So many people do clue scrolls all the time in RuneScape down to a science by using the wiki, and it just makes it taste so bland. You know what I mean? Like, I miss the days when you could truly just figure out everything for yourself, because that was the only option you really had.
What was that? What did I do there? Interrogation? Was that what that was? That's doing a thing. Okay. I still don't know what that does, but I kind of like it.
There's this beauty to not power gaming every aspect of your playtime in a game.
This is a weird... Okay, this looks weird. I know a lot of people don't know, like, it's always like, what do we put here on the wrist? If you're gonna do floating hands, like, what do you put there? I'm in favor of just make it black. Just make it a black void, whatever. But like this fleshy inside, it's like I'm looking at bologna with no bones. I don't need to see the inside of my wrist. That's not giving me immersion. This is just giving me like a weird dissociation with reality. God.
So I was having a lot of fun in Legendary Tales, but I do really hate the goblins in this game. They're short, just like all the other goblins in games usually are, but they just attack your toes and it's nearly impossible to block them, so it just feels cheap when they show up, and their body parts just pop off like, oh, off with his head. Why do we get Humpty Dumpty goblins? The skeletons, the unforgiving nature of going out and getting some levels while you do some questing, it just all really made me feel like I was finally reliving something similar to those original RuneScape memories. The price tag on this game is a little up there. It's $55 US. It's co-op, so I think that they would actually benefit from adding a 4-pack discount bundle for you and your friends. I feel like it's not uncommon for there to be one person in a group of friends that's like, hey, I'm just gonna get this for my buddy or my pals, you know? If you and 3 other people want to play together, that's like a $200 buy-in. It just feels like a weird barrier to entry when this game is still being polished and worked on. It still has kinks and rough edges that they're trying to get out.
I'm going behind the barriers so I can fuck them up from over. Well, that didn't work.
Now, the other game that sparked this feeling in me is something still in development on applab, and it's a game called Mythic Realms. And it's very clearly influenced by RuneScape, but instead of only being VR, they use MR, which is mixed reality.
Oh, this feels really surreal. This feels so weird walking around in my mapped environment. Oh, that is so weird, dude.
The premise of the game is that you're helping to heal this world that's collided with your own or something, but it's all exciting stuff that takes place in your own room instead of anywhere visually interesting.
Oh, this is neat. It's like decorate. Oh, and the sky is open. That's kind of neat. Oh, I got my wall wrong there, so that's on me.
Like, pass-through and mixed reality is cool, but, like, it's not strong enough yet to be, like, the whole allure of a game.
Neat. Oh, just a skeleton in my living room. All right, level 6. Man, I'm so strong. Hey, pick up. Oh, we've been plagued by monsters. That skeleton dropped an axe. We'll need to gather some resources for what's to come.
Essentially, you're trying to go out from VR into your world to gather supplies so you can rebuild the VR town.
Cool. Hold to enter. and now I'm in VR. I need your help to stop the merging of realities. You are gifted with the sight, the ability to traverse between worlds. That's so cool, dude. Before you're strong enough to face the destroyer, you will need to rebuild this kingdom to aid you.
It's super cool to switch between MR and VR, but I think that they just need to flip it entirely. Let my living room be the space where my home inventory is, where I accept quests, hopping into a portal to go to another world, so I can do adventures in VR, and then just do all the boring, kind of tedious stuff in my apartment.
Oh, you can move it all around. Cool. I'm going to put the building there. I'm going to put the blacksmith right there. But like this, I want to adventure in this world and like have the skeletons come in and like be fighting in a field or something in a dungeon, and then go back to mixed reality, and that's just where I can have a home base. It's another scenario wherein it's kind of just solidifying to me that the physicality of the skills wouldn't work repetitively.
And even when they tried to spice it up, it just didn't feel right. Like, enemies are popping out of the supplies, like, great, now I've destroyed this cute little slime's home and I've committed a war crime. I'm going to jail. All that said, it's a super promising idea though, and it's actually kind of visually interesting. Now, the reality here is that RuneScape in VR might just be a lost cause. I know that sounds weird since that's the whole point of this freaking video, but what if we just think about this differently? Maybe Mythic Realms was onto something with mixed reality for a RuneScape-like experience. Maybe we ditch the idea of being in the world, physically mining, woodcutting, doing all these tedious things that use our body as a gimmick, and instead focus on bringing RuneScape into our world. There's this one game that a lot of you have probably heard of called Demeo. It's basically a VR tabletop RPG, kind of like D&D, and they recently introduced a mixed reality version. You can literally be playing a virtual tabletop experience on your actual tabletop. Now, I'm by no means ready to make a working demo of what I'm talking about here. I'm not that good at Unity. Here's what I've made in Unity before. It's all really cursed. Let's picture it like this. Imagine that you load up the game and the first thing you do is trace out a section of where you want to place the game area. You get that set up and it automatically places the inventory and skills window beside it. You get a text box for typing, a mini map to the side, and then the main play area, which will be in full 3D. You can select in your settings which hand you want to be left click or right click. You slap some camera slider controls to rotate it all if you need, and then you can just tap anywhere with your finger on the map to walk there, just like RuneScape. Suddenly, you then get to play RuneScape with your character as a little miniature dude on your table. I don't know about you, but that sounds sick. And as you're walking, more of the game comes into view, just like regular RuneScape, with the rest fading outside the play area. I know it might seem a bit silly, and it's like, well, it's still a gimmick, but I feel like everything in VR is a gimmick to some extent, and the idea of playing a D&D style tabletop map and playing the game on any kind of surface would be insanely cool to me. I don't know, let me know what you think. I personally would love to play mixed reality RuneScape. And you know what would be cool? What if we added a quick little VR button? You're sitting there, the real world fades away, and suddenly you enter your character's first-person perspective. You can't move, but you're there, in RuneScape, in virtual reality. And if you didn't know, before Oculus was even a thing, there was this one little item in RuneScape back in 2010 called the Orb of Oculus. I don't think there's anything more fitting than finally fulfilling the prophecy that RuneScape put into motion by putting this in the game, dude. Anyways, those are the RuneScape VR thoughts that have been rattling around my brain for months now, and you know what? It feels good to get it out. If you saw that one community post, you might have seen that I was briefly banned from streaming on YouTube because YouTube thought that Into the Radius was real life. So in case it happens again, as a backup, I've started multi-streaming over on Twitch when we're live here on YouTube, and surprisingly, we're already close to being a Twitch affiliate. If you guys want to drop a follow over there, so I'd really appreciate it, guys. We'll be live later today on YouTube and Twitch at 3 p.m. Eastern, so I'll see you guys then. If that's already over, though, and you're looking for something else to watch, you should check out my video from last time, which is Into the Radius, but I became obsessed with a ballistic shield mod. But yeah, kind of different format for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah, cheers, guys.
There's some tutorial in here about potion making. Let's see. Potion making. Player can prepare different qualities of potion. You put 2 potion soul crystals into the potion making apparatus. You can make a new potion. Yeah, that explains it all. Yeah, I'm stupid for even asking.